Could the villain finally be caught out? EastEnders Ravi Gulati could finally be held accountable for his drug trafficking activities after the most recent episode, all thanks to Teddy Mitchell's daring new plan. In the latest chapter of the BBC One drama, Harry continued to confess everything to his father, explaining how Ravi and Okie had dragged Kojo Okyere into their criminal network, and how Nicola managed to buy Harry's release, but not his friends. "Kojo's my best mate. If that means I've got to take the fall, then so be it," Harry declared, ready to hand himself over to the authorities, a move Teddy strongly opposed. "Kojo wouldn't survive prison. They'd probably deport him, or worse," Teddy snapped, his frustration growing. "You're lucky to still be walking around and not buried under some cement. So stop crying, you're not going to the cops." Teddy assured his son he could handle things if given just one day, though Harry doubted he truly understood the danger he was in. When Teddy tried to track down Nicola, she had vanished, and he became noticeably uneasy while chatting with Billy and Honey at the Vic. As Callum Highway and others returned from the funeral, Teddy made a quick exit and went straight to confront Ravi. "If she really thought she could buy Kojo's freedom as well, she's clearly lost the plot," Ravi sneered coldly, before warning Teddy to leave immediately. Changing tactics, Teddy decided it was time to play smart. Pretending everything was fine, he gently persuaded Harry to take Kojo and Gina out for lunch, a distraction that gave him just the window he needed. While they were gone, Teddy quietly slipped away, pocketing a set of keys to Kojo's flat without anyone noticing. It was a dangerous move, but one that could finally turn the tables on Ravi and Okie. Later that afternoon, Teddy made his way to Kojo's apartment, his heart pounding as he unlocked the door. Every creak of the hinges seemed deafening in the silence. He knew one wrong move could get him killed. As he searched the place, he suddenly froze. The sound of voices echoed from the hallway. Ravi and Okie had arrived unexpectedly. Thinking fast, Teddy ducked behind a door, holding his breath as they entered the flat, talking in low, threatening tones about unfinished business. For several tense minutes, Teddy stayed perfectly still, barely daring to breathe as the two men discussed Kojo's fate and the ongoing police pressure. Then, just as quickly as they came, they left, slamming the door behind them. Teddy waited a few seconds longer to be sure before stepping out, his hands shaking. Knowing time was short, he got to work. From his jacket pocket, he pulled out a small black device, a high-tech hidden camera he'd bought the night before. He placed it carefully on a shelf facing the living room, blending it seamlessly among Kojo's belongings. Then, connecting it to an app on his phone, he checked the live feed. The camera worked perfectly. He now had eyes inside Ravi's operation. But Teddy's plan was as risky as it was brilliant. One mistake, one slip-up, and Ravi would know someone was spying on him, and Teddy would be a dead man walking. As he slipped out of the flat and disappeared into the shadows, a chilling thought crossed his mind. If Ravi or Okie discovered the camera, there would be no second chances. Could this be the move that finally brings down Ravi's criminal empire and saves Kojo from destruction? Or will Teddy's secret operation backfire spectacularly, unleashing revenge that no one in Walford will see coming? The truth, as ever, is only a heartbeat away, and for Teddy, time may already be running out. EastEnders' disaster for Johnny Carter after shocking blunder ruins everything. He ends up out of work. EastEnders' Johnny Carter is set for a major career crisis next week after a careless mistake threatens to destroy his future in law and potentially leave him jobless. Can he fix the damage, or is this the moment to start over? The drama begins when Elaine Peacock's bold idea sparks something in Johnny, prompting him to consider venturing out on his own. But could his ambitious move end up being his downfall? Big changes are on the horizon for Walford's resident legal eagle, our EastEnders insider reveals. He's found unexpected love with Callum, and now he's got plans to launch his own firm, but things quickly spiral out of control. It all kicks off when Elaine hears back from Teddy Mitchell about the cost of potential renovations on number 5, and the quote leaves her stunned. Still, she's undeterred, telling Yolande Truman later that she wants to transform the place into a boutique hotel. Fueled by her entrepreneurial energy, Elaine encourages her grandson to take a risk of his own, pushing Johnny to strike out independently. Johnny eagerly gets to work drafting his business proposal, but the next morning brings a sobering realization, quite literally. Johnny goes into full-blown panic mode, our source teases. He discovers that after one too many drinks, he accidentally emailed his proposal to every client and his current boss. Hoping the blunder might slip under the radar, Johnny tries to stay calm, but the damage is done. Soon, he's forced to confess to Callum that he's been fired. What comes next for Johnny? Could this harsh dismissal actually open the door to something new? The turmoil doesn't stop there. The same episode also sees Johnny and Callum's secret romance exposed when Callum's estranged husband, Ben Mitchell, makes a shocking return on day release from prison. Tuesday's installment ends on a hopeful note for Johnny and Callum's relationship, but leaves Ben crushed and alone once more. Joel goes into hiding after attacking Vicky. How far will Tommy go to protect his friend? Joel, desperate and panicked after brutally attacking Vicky, seeks refuge from Tommy, hoping to avoid being caught. Completely unaware of the gravity of Joel's crime, Tommy reluctantly agrees to give him shelter, offering him a temporary hiding place in the Slater's garage. He believes he's simply helping a mate in trouble, but he's unknowingly harboring someone who has just committed a serious assault. Meanwhile, word quickly spreads around Walford about the attack on Vicky, sending shockwaves through the community. Ross is horrified when he hears what's happened and rushes to the hospital to be by Vicky's side. The thought that someone could do this to her leaves him furious and sickened, but when whispers begin circulating that Joel might be responsible, Ross shuts them down immediately, refusing to believe the worst. At the hospital, doctors reassure him that Vicky will recover from her injuries, but the emotional scars may take much longer to heal. Still, one question lingers. How long before Ross discovers who really hurt her? Across town, Teddy is struggling with his own worries, as Harry seems to have vanished without a trace. He frantically tries calling and checking every possible place, fearing the worst. After hours of panic, his phone finally rings. It's Harry. Relieved, Teddy answers, only to hear his son's strained voice insisting that he's fine. What Teddy doesn't realize is that the call is being made under duress, with Ravi and Okie standing over Harry, forcing him to speak. Trapped and terrified, Harry tries to reason with them, begging Okie to let him go. But Okie's tone turns cold and menacing as he lays out his ultimatum. Harry won't be set free until he reveals exactly where the hidden camera is transmitting its footage. The tension thickens as Harry faces an impossible choice: betray Teddy's plan or risk his own life. As the walls close in on everyone involved, secrets, lies, and guilt intertwine, and it's only a matter of time before the truth about Joel's violence and Ravi's criminal empire explodes into the open, threatening to tear Walford apart. EastEnders airs Monday to Thursday at 7:30 p.m. on BBC One. Episodes are also available to stream early from 6 a.m. on BBC iPlayer, ahead of their television broadcast.